I arrived into Cork from the UK the day before, and I must say I was mightily impressed with the city. As it had been a long day travelling the day before and a long night drinking at the Franciscan Well brew pub, the plan today was to do a bit less. Still, I think I need to get down to the station, and the walk from the city leads you down this slope. My guess is that the old station entrance would have been along here. You can still duck in, but there's no access to the platforms. When you get to the concourse, there's memorials to both Charles Daly and Thomas Kent, who both died opposing British forces. The Great Southern and Western Railway Class 21, number 36, dates from 1847 and has been a feature of the station since 1950. I think the kindest thing you can say about the exterior is that it's functional rather than attractive. Still, as we re-enter the concourse, there's enough space for a shop and somewhere to buy a drink, although the coffee shop looked permanently closed. And near the barriers there's ticket machines and also a staff ticket office, which is where I bought my ticket today. The barrier's open, so let's mosey on through. The canvas mushrooms are interesting, and I can't make up my mind about whether they're in keeping or not. Anyway, there's a bloke over here who wants a word. Welcome to Cork Kent Station. Today we're going to be just doing a short hop to the seaside town of Cobh. Well, there's two branch lines that run east from here. One goes to Cobh and the other one goes to Middleton, and the train just pulled in behind me there is the Middleton train, so they have half an hour service to both destinations. So the Middleton one here is due to go back out again at 10:45, and then we'll be on the 11 o'clock to Cobh. Anyway, Cobh is supposed to be a really beautiful seaside town. I've looked at it on the internet and I seem to agree, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one goes. Middleton and Cobh use platforms 1 and 2, so let's pop over and wave goodbye to the Middleton train. And whilst that one chugs up the line to Middleton, let's have a look at our route for today. We'll start by hugging the River Lee past the main Cork port and then on into the industrial area of Little Island, and then on to Glantorn, where the lines for Middleton and Cobh split at Cobh Junction. And it's here that we'll swing south across Harper's Island onto the first of two causeways to Fotter Island. Beyond Fotter, we will cross the second causeway onto Great Island, with two more stops at Carrigloe and Rushbrook before we draw into Cobh Station from the west. The journey is just 12.4 kilometres or 7.7 miles and will take 26 minutes, which leaves the crew just 4 minutes before the train must reverse back to Cork. And here's our Class 2600 two-car DMU on the inbound working from Cobh. The 2600s were built by the Tokyu Car Corporation of Japan in 1993. All of Irish Rail's 2600s are stabled at Cork, running the services to Cobh, Middleton and Mallow. Right, we better hop on board a bit sharpish because turnaround is pretty fast. Well, these seats look okay, and they were okay for the 26-minute ride, and the drinks holders were always going to attract empty cans. The legroom is also okay for these short journeys, and there's enough space in the luggage racks too. And I'd better keep my feet on the floor today, but I can't help feeling they're doing that tinted window thing again. Well, at least it isn't as tinted as the Dublin to Cork blue stock. Soon, we're over the road bridge and running alongside the river. Next up, we go behind the main Cork port facility before passing over the Glasheboy River onto the industrial centre that is Little Island. Well, although they're developing Little Island Station behind these hoardings, at least there's a handy picture to tell us what it will all look like. And now we're touching the extreme tentacles of Lough Marn as we speed along to our next stop at Glamtorn. Glamtorn is the last station before the lines part at Cobh Junction. The line for Middleton continues east, but we turn south for Cobh. And unlike so many Irish branches, our line to Cobh will remain double-tracked pretty much all the way to Cobh Station. Things now start to get really pretty as we cross onto the edge of Harper's Island before we head out across the water on the first causeway, which includes this 6-span bridge over the deepest part of the channel. And that building on the headland that looks like a castle is actually just a folly built around 1820. The significance of the painting on the railings is that it denotes that Fota Island is the home of a zoo, known as Fota Wildlife Park. Beyond Fota is the most impressive part of the causeway, where it really feels like the train is just skimming along the surface of the loch, with water on both sides. And this old Martello Tower is an old fortification which was built to defend the approaches to Cork harbour itself. Merino Point, with its derelict fertiliser factory, is still the home of Merino Chem, who produce resin adhesives. The river narrows again here, and Carrigloe is home to the Passage West ferry. The Cobh waterside playground heralds our arrival into Cobh itself as we run alongside the rows of camper vans making use of the dedicated parking. I may as well hang around for 4 minutes and wave this 2600 goodbye, and then it's time for a walk around Cobh. The station still feels quite extensive, but in fact it's actually just a little West End stub of the old multi-platform station that now makes up the Heritage Centre. I found the displays at the Heritage Centre incredibly moving, understanding the plight of the Irish people who either emigrated to escape persecution or who were forcibly transported to the colonies from this very quayside. And on the quayside stands Annie Moore and her brothers, the first Irish to be processed at Ellis Island in New York in 1892. People crossing the sea in dodgy boats to escape poverty and violence really is not a new phenomenon.
Well, Irish Rail may have disappointed me a little with the run from Dublin to Cork yesterday, but the run to Cobh here was absolutely gorgeous, wasn't it? I mean, there was obviously most of the views out of the side that we were sat on, but there was still some fantastic things to see out the other side. And one point when we went across a railway causeway with water on both sides was just stunning. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this little run to Cobh. I certainly did. It's great, and I'm really looking forward now to having lunch and spending even more time in this beautiful little town by the water. Yeah, if you've enjoyed it, then please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel, as I release a video every Friday and a few Mondays as well. But in the meantime, from the beautiful town of Cobh, I bid you a goodbye and thank you very much for watching.